If the next Mortal Kombat game is called MK13, then Mortal Kombat 1 was completely pointless. And that's exactly why they won't do it. Right now, people are debating what the next Mortal Kombat game will be called, and the majority of people are basically saying it will be called Mortal Kombat 13. Others, such as me, are saying it will be called Mortal Kombat 2. But this isn't just a name debate. This is a decision that's going to expose how NetherRealm Studios and Warner Brothers actually feels about Mortal Kombat 1. Because when you're really ready to break it down, that next title, it's not creative, it's strategic. The illusion reboot is one of the most important things that's going to help you understand this, so we'll start here. Mortal Kombat 1 was marketed as a full reboot, new timeline, new origins, fresh start. That's what we were sold. But here's the problem. If the next game is called Mortal Kombat 13, then what did MK1 actually reset? Nothing. Now it just becomes another entry in a long line of timeline resets, and that instantly weakens the entire idea of a new era. So, therefore, this is a branding decision. Game studios don't just pick names randomly. Let's look at the pattern. Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 11, and then suddenly Mortal Kombat 1? That wasn't just a creative choice, that was a branding reset. They were trying to simplify the entry point, make it feel new again. So logically, Mortal Kombat 1 equals Mortal Kombat 2. Feels intentional, right? But Mortal Kombat 1 equals Mortal Kombat 13 feels like they lost control of their own direction if they were to do that. So the business reality is this. Here's where things get real. NetherRealm Studios handles the creative side, but Warner Brothers handles the business, marketing, and brand direction. And the business side of Mortal Kombat, they're not thinking like hardcore fans. They're thinking, how do we reboot trust? How do we make this reboot feel like it actually matters? Because let's be honest, Mortal Kombat 1 didn't land the way they expected it long term. Support ended early, players checked out, trust took a major hit. So now, there has to be alignment between creative and business. And calling it Mortal Kombat 2 helps both sides. NRS keeps the new era vision alive, WB keeps the branding clean and easy to market, and so forth. Now, let's finally talk about the Mortal Kombat 13 problem and why it's risky. If they call it MK13, they're reconnecting everything back to the old timeline, which remind players of something important. This franchise has already been reset multiple times. Mortal Kombat 9 rebooted everything. Mortal Kombat 11 reset timelines again. And then Mortal Kombat 1 resets it again. At this point, it's not a reboot anymore. It's a pattern. And players notice patterns. That's where reboot fatigue kicks in for a lot of us. Casual versus hardcore is another good thing we need to go over. They'll understand Mortal Kombat 13. Hardcore fans will, but casual players, they'll see 13 and think, I missed too much. This is too deep. I'm out. And that matters more than people realize. Because casual players are the majority, and MK2 is way easier to jump into than MK13. For example, let's use Final Fantasy. Now, I've played a Final Fantasy game here or there, maybe about 10, 12 years ago or something like that. But I did feel a heavy load when I saw something say like Final Fantasy 10 or 12 or 8, whatever it was at the time. I felt like I was so far behind that I just didn't want to waste my time getting into the franchise because there were so many of them and so much lore to catch up on. Back to Mortal Kombat. Now, in the psychology of the name, even the number itself matters. 13 feels heavy, it feels final, it feels complicated. 2 feels like growth, continuation, momentum. MK2 feels like a fresh start. MK13 feels like baggage. It's almost like having your second wife versus your 13th wife. Which one feels like baggage and which one feels like a continuation of a new chapter? Now, my final take on this is that when it really comes down to it, if they call it MK2, they're protecting the reboot. If they call it MK13, they're quietly admitting the reboot didn't work. This was never about a name. I want to make that clear. It's about whether they believe in what they're doing and what they just built. Because the moment they revealed the title, you'll know exactly what Mortal Kombat 1 really was.